All right, Asahi-san, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to my session, despite our final session through this event. Are you tired? I'm tired. But anyway, thank you so much again. So I'm Nobushige Asahi from NTT DOCOMO, and I'm excited to have an opportunity to deliver my idea for improving security and usability for authentication in consumer appliances. Do you use passkeys? Of course, I use passkey every day, all situations with smartphones and PCs. But why we don't use passkeys on other devices? We have many consumer appliances. So if it's wonderful if we could use passkeys on such devices. Do you agree? And I've been exploring the ways to make it happen. Today, I will share my effort and result. Let's get started. Here is my agenda. First, I explain the background. Next, I introduce key technology, hybrid. And I will present my hybrid demo on Fire TV. At last, I propose what should we do for the hybrid future in consumer appliances. This is background. NTT DOCOMO is a mobile network operator who offers various services. A video streaming service is one of them. Also, we have own set-top box to provide it. Currently, we are planning to enable passkeys on those devices because passkeys provide much better security and usability than passwords. And we think this motivation is not for only DOCOMO. Other consumer appliances may be preferred to enable passkeys. And the consumer appliances we are interested in has same characteristics as below. No biometrics authenticator, no keyboard, only available display for user interactions. Can we use passkeys on such devices? Yes, we can use passkeys with hybrid. So what is hybrid? Hybrid is the protocol used to enable the first device as an authenticator for logging onto second device. In this case, first device is smartphone, and second device is consumer appliance. This is a typical hybrid flow. First, you access website on second device, browser, and input ID to authenticate. Then the browser will ask you authenticate with other devices. If you allow this suggestion, the browser will display a QR code. The QR code includes information for hybrid. You can then proceed to authentication by reading QR code with camera on first device. And reading the QR code, you will authenticate with the passkey as the same as usual. The authentication completes on a second device. The user will complete a whole login process. Next, I will explain how hybrid works. This slide is hybrid technical sequence. I will not read it out loud, but I will explain only main points. The QR code includes the secret for proximity check and public key for handshakes to establish WebSocket. First device gets this information from QR code and advertise Bluetooth packets. The packets include information to connect WebSocket. Sharing info via QR code and Bluetooth, both devices will make WebSocket and exchange challenge and response for login. It's so simple, but very reasonable way. And perhaps somebody think why both devices cannot exchange challenge and response and via only Bluetooth. It's a great idea. However, it's difficult because Bluetooth is unstable. It depends on devices. So hybrid has been suggested as a new solution. Hybrid is a brilliant protocol, and hybrid function separates two roles. One is first device hybrid role, another is second device hybrid role. Smartphones support both roles, but other devices support only second device roles. Specifically, consumer appliances do not support both roles. So like an image on this slide, passkeys on consumer appliances do not work as default. However, hybrid specification is open. Second device hybrid works if it's implemented according to the specification. By this, I mean we can change the consumer appliance status using the second device use of hybrid and change it from not available to available. This is our goal. As beginning, we want to enable passkeys on Fire TV and extend to other all consumer appliances. To achieve this goal, we had to confirm if it can be. So I made an application hybrid works on as proof of concept. Because the application demo, let me explain easy architecture. There are two ways to support hybrid. Option one, calling hybrid function on OS. Option two is implementing hybrid function in own application. This picture is a concept image, and I implemented hybrid function in my own application. This short movie is a capture of my application in use. My application has a web view and is opening my WebAuthn test page. A user inputs their ID and goes registration. Then QR code is coming, and the user reads it with their smartphone camera. After connecting WebSocket, the first device will ask for biometrics authentication. And test page status changed, registered. Yeah, this kind, yeah. So as the capture of my application demo, since we succeeded with POC, I explain what will change in consumer appliances. In current flow, users have to input ID and password with remote controller, like TV remote controller or game console controller or something. In new flow, the consumer appliance displays QR code. So, and we read it by first device and authenticate using passkey. That's very simple and easy. There are my takeaways from the POC. The point I like to make it that we can make the second device hybrid function if we implement it properly. This does depend on person's skills, but in my case, it was a little bit hard. So from an application builder's perspective, it would be great if OS vendors would support hybrid on consumer appliances. We found out we can enable hybrid on consumer appliances. So why is hybrid not widely used yet on such devices? I think there are some reasons. First, developers don't recognize that hybrid works if they implement it. The second, they know but hesitate because it costs high to implement from scratch. Third, they think the users not to be so familiar with capturing QR code with camera on another device during authentication. I love passkeys and wish the future everyone can use passkeys in every situations will come. So I considered issues and actions to spread hybrid. There are issues and actions. The action against the issue hybrid not recognized widely yet is increased opportunities of presentation like this, and let people know that hybrid is available and useful. And the action against the issue, high cost for hybrid implementation, is request OS vendors to support hybrid as API. And action against the issue, users not so familiar with capturing QR code during authentication, is accelerate user adoption. Similar UX of hybrid available on device flow. So we expect users to get familiar with this kind of UX. And I mean, through this presentation, if you are interested in hybrid, and would like to try it, it's wonderful. And that's what I aimed. This is my proposal to spread hybrid. Users are starting to use passkeys, but passwords are more still common. I believe that the migration to passkeys from passwords will progress by expanding passkey availability. So I think consumer appliances should support second device hybrid at least. So we should encourage OS vendors to implement hybrid features or implement hybrid features by ourselves if we cannot wait for OS vendors' action. That's all. Thank you.
All right. So there is a question coming in on the app. Asahi-san,
Yep.
can you elaborate on the limitation of Bluetooth in this scenario? Are there other methods, such as NFC, that have been explored for use cases where a display may not be available on the second device?
Sure. NFC is, in some case, yeah, NFC is better than Bluetooth or hybrid, but NFC functionality is not so equipped all devices, so depends on case. So if the device can use NFC, yeah, that's better than Bluetooth or hybrid, I think.
Hello, I have a question regarding the WebSocket communication.
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself?
Sorry?
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Olivier Potonier from Thales. Did you have to implement your own WebSocket tunnel, or were you able to reuse some WebSocket service?
You mean I implemented WebSocket features from scratch?
Right.
No, I didn't make WebSocket features from scratch. I used some libraries to connect WebSocket.
But WebSocket communication is between the first device and the second device, or does it go through an intermediate tunnel?
Intermediate server is OS vendors intermediation server I used. In iOS, Apple's intermediate WebSocket server. If I use Android, Google intermediate server.
Okay, so you reuse the Android and the Apple. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Hi, Asahi.
Hi.
My name is Valbek. I'm from PayPal. Thank you for the information today. So I noticed that you have called out throughout the presentation about the presence of two devices, and it makes complete sense. But have you given thought for applying this hybrid approach where there is only one device? And the reason or the example that I can bring up is also based on the video that you showed that you did mention web views. So web views don't support passkeys. So is there some way where you have only one device? Because there are many application developers who use web views to embed PayPal within their web views. And there we cannot use passkeys. So is there some opportunity for this hybrid or some other approach to still use passkeys where apps are using web views? You know, and it's the same device. You don't have two devices. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Simply, what do you want to know?
It's just a one device. You don't have more than one device, because throughout the presentation there were two devices, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying you have only one device. That device has an app, and that app has a web view which embeds a authentication flow. That web view by itself does not support passkeys. So how can we still use passkeys with this hybrid approach or some other approach so that we can continue to use passkeys even within web views in that app?
I'm sorry, I couldn't catch all of your question, but the application has web view, and web view doesn't support passkey
Correct.
in Android. So you mean how can I make it?
Yeah, how can
yeah.
you still use some, like hybrid is one way
Yeah.
of using passkeys in a non-passkey supported device, right?
Yeah.
So is there some way you can, or some, maybe even hybrid, I don't know, to use passkeys in such scenarios where you don't have two devices?
Yeah. There are some ways to support passkeys, and if the device has a web view and that device based on Android, so we can connect web view to credential manager on Android OS supported API. So that's one of the way. But in my case, Fire TV is not support credential manager. So Fire TV has web view, but not support credential manager. So the hybrid is the only way to support passkeys on in Fire TV. Does it
Okay,
make sense?
no problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more question online? Thank you, Asahi-san.
Thank you so much. Yeah.